Hello and welcome again to another episode of One Starfish, where our mission is to help change the world one person or one starfish at a time. As always, guys, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, share. That's how we get the word out about what we do. I'm excited for our guest today. Heather and I know each other for a really long time through RTA. Amazing human, and I just met her business partner, Ashley. Amazing human again, here, even though she's not feeling 100%, but still here and crushing it. So I really love that right away off the top. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Awesome. So we're going to get into things. So first of all, Ashley and Heather have a business called, I'm going to get this right, Profitable Pen Press, where they help authors get their books out. Heather has, in fact, just wrote a book that's going to be coming out. Probably it'll have come out by the time of this airing. So we'll have that information in the show notes. It's called A Bible, Barn, and Back 40. So that sounds really fun. But yeah, let's get into things. You guys have both been through various ways to get to where you're at. So we'll start with you, Ashley. You were kind of in a normal traditional job, and then you went out on your own into as a virtual assistant. Tell us a little bit about what got you into your first job, and then what was a transition to cause you to want to, switch from that.
Yeah, so what got me into my first job was we moved, and I moved from North Dakota down to South Dakota and just was looking for a local job. Found that one, and it was going okay. And then I got pregnant, and my biggest thing was I kind of had an identity crisis because when you get pregnant, you just kind of it changes you. And it changed me a lot. And it did kind of spiral me into a depression during those prenatal and postpartum because of a lot of different reasons. But the biggest thing was when I went back to work, I was very unhappy. I didn't like going into the office. I cried honestly every day on my way to work.
Mhm.
And I had been saying for the longest time, I think I should do this. I think I should do this. And then I finally did it. And blew up in a way, like to sound humble. Like I'm very grateful for every person that's walked in my life from this adventure that I call life now. So yeah, my virtual assisting thing is going great, and it's how I met Heather, which I'm so thankful for.
That's really cool. So when you went to transition, were there a lot of people that said that was kind of silly of you, especially because you had a new baby? Normally you want stability and a steady paycheck and all the things, and you work for a law firm, which is kind of a, I don't know, steady paycheck kind of job.
Yeah.
How did that go over in your family, your friends, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of questions on it. I'm very thankful that my partner Carson, he was so great about it. He was very on board, especially because he could tell that when I was doing it, my mental health and my mood, you could see it better. You could see my spark coming back in me rather than going to this job and him watching me cry as I was walking out the door every day. So I'm very thankful that he was really supportive. Everyone else in my life really close to me was supportive as well. They had a lot of questions of, what is this? What do you mean you're going to be doing this? Do you actually think this is going to work? And then when I said I quit, then I got a lot of questions of, oh, you did? Like, are you sure? Like, are you gonna be okay? And I'm like, I'm gonna be just fine. Like, we're good. We're gonna do good things with this. And thankfully, a lot of people um, is they're being very supportive with it, and it's been a great journey so far.
That's really cool. Switching over, we're gonna have two different stories here, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. So switching over to you, Heather, I mean, I don't know actually all your, when you came out of school and where you went with that. Actually, we did get into financial planning or whatever you want to call it. And then from there, now we're in a business coach and we're writing books and we're doing all this other stuff. Tell us a little bit about where you started and, what took you through that journey. And then definitely touch on, how you just decided at, we were talking before. So I think for anyone listening, this is good, age 50, whatever that is for you.
Right.
By the way, Heather does not look like she's 50, but if you guys are watching, definitely not. But then there was a huge transition. So yeah, take us a little bit through that, through your childhood that I don't, like I said, I don't know what you did out of school, what caused you to do that and then transition to running your own business eventually and all the things.
Right, yeah. So I actually was in corporate America for 17 years, worked for the same company, climbed the corporate ladder, loved it for most of the time, right? And so I was very lucky right out of they paid for part of my grad school. I stayed on with them, ended up moving to Kansas, ran an agency there, had my son, and then promoted. And I was at the end for the last 5 years, I was doing acquisitions. And so I was in about a 5 state area traveling. Um, and so when I hit about age 40, I knew I needed to make a change. And my husband really said, look, we got to do something different. And I was on the road all the time. When you work in corporation and for a big company, you don't have control over a lot of things, right? Like you just roll with it. And I really felt and know that they lost their vision and their mission and what they were going to do. And it was just a rough time. And so we decided to move back to South Dakota so that he could take over the family farm, which was a big change. And so that's when I went into financial advising, and I didn't know what I was getting into. Looking back, I should ask a whole lot more questions, but it just took the steps, right? I just walked the path that was in front of me, and I did that, and no regrets. But I was with a company that was captive. And so if you're in the industry, you know what that means. You're required to do everything through them and follow their rules and comply complete with everything they have. And so you're kind of on your own, but you're really not. And so I did that for 9 years. And then it became clear to me that, again, it was time for another change, another major change. And so at about age 50, I decided, look, I'm going to start my own investment firm. And so I did that. And I had, for about the 5 years prior to that, I had done business coaching under somebody else, kind of part-time, but loved it. And I was really missing it. And I thought, oh, I got to get it back into coaching somehow. And so I started coaching, and that really, really blew up. And so I do just business coaching, all sorts, but mostly helping people start their own careers. And what I say is I help people, mostly women, tap into their God-given brilliance to create money-making businesses. And so if they feel called to go out and do something different, like I did, like I knew, man, it was time for me to get out of corporate, right? Like it was time for me to make a change. And so a lot of women, when we hit 50, it we go through that, and no regrets, right? No regrets of what I did and what I gave up and the time I put in. Up to age 50, I raised my family. We had an amazing life. I was very lucky, but it was time to take that risk. And when you step into entrepreneurship, I mean, and let's face it, you have it in your soul or you don't, right? And all three of us sitting here, we have that in our soul, right? That entrepreneurship, that calling to do that. And when you have that, like it's a risk. It's a risk to step out and do it. And I see so many women at age 50 be able to do that. Like it's like, okay, now's me time, now's go time, and I'm gonna step in to do what I've really, really wanted to do all my life. And so sometimes that's starting a coaching or consulting business. Sometimes it's writing that book that they've always been thinking about doing. It can be lots of different things, but for some reason, I think we hit that 50 and it's a halftime of life, and it's like, okay, now it's time. Like I am ready to step into what I'm called to do. And so that's what I get to help women do all the time, all day long. We work on what their big goals are and how they're called for impact and how do we get that aligned. So yeah.
I love that. I want to touch on something you said, people are with entrepreneurial mindset or not. What do you think the difference is between someone that's thinking that way and someone that's not?
Oh man, that's a great question. It's interesting. It's when you're an entrepreneur, like I had somebody explain it, it's 100% faith, right? Like you have to have 100% faith because you are totally stepping out. Like there's no safety nets. There are hard days. There's going to be ups and downs. That's the entrepreneur life. And that's not for everybody. And some people are very good at what they do and punching a clock, and or even having, major corporate careers like I had. That's fine. Like that's great. And if that's what you're called to do and made to do, that's fantastic. But there's other people out there that they're really called to entrepreneurship and they're ready to take that risk. They have a calling inside of them to make an impact. And like you just got to do it no matter what, right? Like it's like it doesn't, like it's going to be hard, but I'm just absolutely called to do it. And we step out and do it. And it's a different animal out there. I don't know if I explained that very well, but and I do believe that small business is what's gonna change the world. And I know that sounds a little dramatic, but I really do believe that. And I do believe that the world is like in a really weird place right now. And the thing that's going to change things and make the world better are small businesses stepping up and stepping into what they're called to do. Because I've seen large corporations lose their vision, and we've seen it time and time again over the last couple of years. Big corporations have done really stupid things, right? Like that are just morally not good. And so when we have small businesses, we're very flexible, we're nimble, we can step up, we can make an impact, we can empower people, we can hire people. And we need to have peace and prosperity. That's what the Bible tells us. Peace and prosperity is our way of life. And we get that. That's how Christians should live. We should have peace and prosperity, and you can get that prosperity through small businesses. And so I just feel that calling as an entrepreneur. And if somebody's an entrepreneur, they're like, oh, I get it. Like, right? Like, I get it. But the people that are naysayers, when we step out and leave those corporate jobs or leave our good jobs at the law firms, those good jobs with benefits, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And that's cool. That's cool. You're not called to do it, right? The other thing I share with the entrepreneurs I work with, they have their vision, right? Like God's given them their vision. If you believe what I believe, that's what I believe in. You don't have to believe in God. We still can be friends, but that's what I believe in. And so, God gives us a vision, and nobody else has that vision. So if you go home and tell family and friends, maybe your spouse, like, I'm going to go do this, they're going to look at you like, oh, that's nice. They're really thinking you've lost your marbles, right? And so I get that a lot. Like people be like, online, like you meet people online and you help them. 100% all over the United States, right? Like they don't, and they're like, you're just gonna write a book? You're gonna write a book? And it's like they don't understand it, right? And that's okay. The thing is, entrepreneurs, we need to just know they don't have our vision. We have our vision. So whatever you do, don't look for them to approve what you want to go do, because they aren't wired to do that. So, I was telling my husband the other day, and I don't, he probably won't let me share this, but I was like really excited about some of the stuff that was going on in my business. And I'm like, this is going on, and this is so fantastic. And we got these authors, and you wouldn't believe what they're working through as they're writing these books. And he's like, oh, well, I guess it's all right if you can make money doing that. Like, he has no sense of like how coaching and business coaching can help people step into their calling. Like he doesn't have that. And he won't because that's not him. That's not what his calling is. Mine is separate. So God picks us and gives us this energy and this ability to step out, and this power, this internal power to say, look, I'm going to go this path because I know I'm meant to. And everybody's going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to do it anyways, because I have to just like I have to get up and breathe. I have to do the entrepreneur thing. So yeah, I don't know what
were your parents entrepreneurs, either one of you?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
My dad owns his own business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had it
No.
growing up with that, so that wasn't completely out to lunch to be an entrepreneur. And you, Heather?
No, blue collar family, pension people, hard workers, both of them work for the same company my whole entire life. Yeah, no, blue collar hard workers, grateful to be given the work ethic I was given.
They're going to say the work ethic is there.
Oh yeah, grateful for
So
that.
what would you say to someone, Heather, that, is going through that? I mean, you're a very strong individual, and people are listening to this and they're going, yeah, Heather's very strong. I couldn't do what Heather's doing, because that rejection sounds terrible. How do you get through that?
Yeah, great question. Um, Man, it's a process, right? You don't wake up one day and just be able to handle the rejection. And God gets you ready. And I think I always tell people, like, if you're not where you want to be, like it's going slower, you're something you got to learn, right? Like you're on a journey and you've got to learn it. And Angela, I don't know if you remember, or even if you experienced the same way I did, but I remember when COVID hit and we were in Arate and Ed Milet's group, and And he said, the world needs you guys right now. He's telling, all these hundreds of people that follow him. The world needs you right now. Go out and make a video every single day that preaches and shares happiness into the world, like good stuff into the world, right? And of course, he said it more eloquent than that. But so I did that. So for 30 days, I got online and just took my camera as I was walking by the water because nobody could go anywhere, right? Like I could go for walks in South Dakota at least. And so I was out there and I would just say something inspiring and tell people, keep going, get up and breathe, right? And so that was like the first step, I think, the first drip into me of like calling to do more to get out there. And so you build on it, and it isn't like there's always going to be naysayers that'll get you. Boy, I can handle a lot more now than I used to. Like I don't even notice. And sometimes it's the smallest thing. Like we market a lot on Facebook, and I love connecting with people on Facebook and in Facebook groups and helping them. And there was a group that didn't like what I posted, and so they kicked me out. And I'm like, all right, next group, right? I just didn't align with them. But I've also seen people in that same experience and it devastates them. And
Yes.
all of a sudden they're sick for 3 days because they feel like they were rejected. And you need to know you weren't rejected as you. Your mission just didn't align with what they were doing. And so you just weren't a good match. And that's okay. One thing I heard somebody said, and it's always stuck with me, it's like, you're the pilot of your airplane and you get to fly that where you want to fly it. And you've got some people on the ride with you and you got some people that need to get off the ride. Right. And that's cool.
We just
That's all
drop them
right.
from the plane. How do we get rid of
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stop in a nice place and let them off
Oh,
right out the
you're
door.
nicer than me. I was like, are we parachuting them? This
Yeah.
is your
Nice place.
opportunity to learn how to
Nice
parachute.
place.
You're off the
Let them off
plane.
somewhere nice. So like, that's cool. Right. Like, and so just don't take it personally. And I know that sounds like hard at first. Like, how can you not? The longer you're at it, like you wouldn't believe the comments on my hair, right? Like, and I'm like, I think they're funny now, like, because I don't always have my hair done. If you go follow me, like 90% of the time I have no makeup on and I'm walking by the lake talking, honestly. Like, this is not usually what you
That's
get.
your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't. And somebody also said, well, you're pulling all the good stuff out. Like this is what somebody else said. They're like, oh my God, how can you get on there and look like that? And I'm like, if I don't, then people aren't going to get my message. And so if people are picking at you for things, if you changed it, would it prevent your message from getting out there? Or people have been like just paralyzed to even get on and talk like this. And I'm like, who's missing your message because you're in your own way? And
Mhm.
let's get connected with that, because if you have that message in your gut to go share and to help people, you got to eliminate whatever's in the way and go do it. And so,
I love
yeah,
that. I love that. So now you guys you started a book. What got you into writing a book? And then, now you're starting helping authors write books. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. So my first book came out in 23. I knew if you're an author, you're the expert in the room. I was primarily I was 100% in the financial industry at that time working. I was doing farm succession planning. I wanted to empower farmers to do, to take actions, really what I wanted to do, and complete their farm succession plans. And I've had such an amazing experience with that book and growing my business and how that all went. I ended up opening my own firm. And then I had this calling to write another one, and I thought about it, and I told this story the other day. I might get choked up. I lock myself up twice a year for 3 or 4 days and don't talk. So I go to these silent retreats, and it's about 20 of us women, and we're at a monastery, and we just lock ourselves there and don't talk. And all you do is read the Bible and pray for 3 days or 4 days, depending on which one it is. And I was at one, and I really thought I would come away. It's such a powerful time. I thought I would come away with like this amazing business plan. I'm like, okay, God, tell me how we're going to do this. We're going to take it to the next level. And I didn't. I did a ton of, the journey took me to a ton of self-seeking and just figuring out my own head and where I was at in life and my relationship with Jesus. And it was really went there, and I uncovered stuff I didn't know was in there. And then I was getting ready to leave, I was just about ready to go out of silence. And I felt this, like, I can hear, like, it drops into my head, like statements, right? Like, I don't know how everybody else receives the Holy Spirit, but that's how I do it. And he's like, and by the way, you're going to need to write that book. I'm like, oh, that's what I get. All right. So I really left there feeling like the only calling I had professionally was to write the book. So I thought I better write the book. And so, yeah. So the second book is The Bible, the Barn, and the Back 40. I know the Bible has the very best business advice out there. And I wanted to take it to people, and I had a calling to do it. And so that's what I did. So yeah.
Awesome. And so what is the book about?
It takes Bible verses and pairs them with struggles we have on farm succession planning. And so, and then there's journaling and there's prompts and there's handouts and there's roadmaps. And so, it's for Christian families that are just struggling with farm succession planning for whatever reason. Maybe mom and dad won't take action. Maybe you just don't know what to do. Maybe you feel unsettled about it. And I believe there's strength and power in the Bible, and it gives us advice on everything. And so I've just taken it chunks of that from the Bible and paired it with the steps and the challenges like procrastination and what's the Bible say about procrastination. And what I'm doing now and of course it'll be later, right, when this airs, but I'm doing a 7-part series on all business in the Bible. And so it's one reel a day on a Bible verse and what that says about our business and how we can use it. And so it's not just for farmers, it's for all people, but yeah.
I love that.
So
And then you guys met and, decided to help other authors create their own book. Is that correct? And then,
yeah.
so what exactly do you guys do with Profitable Pen Press? And, if someone's looking for something like that, who's your ideal client and what are they looking for?
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah,
answer?
I can go. So our ideal client is someone that not only is thinking of writing a book, it's someone that knows what they have and what they have can help other people. So if you think you have a message to get out there and it's going to impact other people, you're our people. We love it. We love to see it. And what we do is we help authors, whether you have just the thought in your head or you have the whole book written. We help you at any stage, and we help not only get you through that writing process if you're not through that yet, we help you if you have any roadblocks through that writing process. And then we also help you with the marketing side of it too. So we're not just here to tell you how to write your book. We're here to coach you through it, open up different opportunities that you can find through writing a book. And then we also help you on the marketing side so that not only your book is getting promoted, but the message and the impact that that book is going to have is getting promoted.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if someone's listening to this, I know a lot of people that want to write books. People are always like, I want to write a book. I mean, obviously, lots of people say lots of things, but if they want to write a book, I think what a lot of people think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's really expensive.
Oh
Time
yeah.
consuming and or expensive is what stops a lot of people. What would you say to someone on either one of those levels? I guess you wrote a book, Heather, so time consuming, and then like the expensive side of, hiring someone like you to help through all that. When books normally aren't like a money-making venture, they help your business for sure, but I wouldn't say they're a money-making venture. Unless you're, who knows? Sometimes it is. Anyway, what would you say to those kind of thoughts and questions that stop a lot of people from writing a book?
Yeah. You would take
Yeah.
that one? Um, Time and money, right? You hit on them right there. So we are a self-publishing company. So when you are done, you own the book, you have published it yourself. So we help you get through that process. And I think you're absolutely right. We were doing some research the other day, and it's like 1% of books will make money, right? Like, so if people think they're going to go get a literary contract and whatever, like it's no, I don't want to burst your bubble. No, but you know what? Even the big people, they're self-publishing, right? Like they want to self-publish because they want to take control of their own book. And so we believe in marketing day one. And you're right, the book is the book. And you make some money on it. I get a check from Amazon every couple months, and it's nice. I haven't done anything for it, right? But you're right. The real money is not necessarily coming from the book. It's making you the expert in the room. So
Mhm.
it's getting you on podcasts, it's getting you on stages. I've built since I wrote my book for one reason, and it was to get paid speaking engagements, and it's worked, right? Like it really, really has worked. And so hence the second book. So you can get paid speaking engagements, you can build clients. And so we have like a 4-part process that we work with. And so it's impact, like Ashley talked about. We want people that want to make an impact. It's the actual writing. people think it's going to be like Hallmark, where those darn Hallmark movies, like you go to a small town and you lock yourself in a cabin, and then you meet the love of your
That's
life
what
and you
I
fall in love,
visualize. Yes, this is
right?
exactly
And
it.
then your publishing agent's calling you and they're mad because you don't have your book done, and then and all this stuff happens and you fall in love and you get your book done. It's just not like, I don't want to burn.
You
No, it
just
doesn't
burst
work
my
that way.
bubble.
Doesn't work
Heather.
that way. I know, I'm sorry. So you don't stop your life while you write with us. We have a great process. We ask, even as little as 2 to 5 hours a week on the writing part, depending on how quick you want to get it done. We use a 4-month process. So when people sign on with us, we walk you through a 4-month process, beginning to end, of writing your book. Writing my book in 23 was night and day different than writing my book in 25 because of AI. And so we show people how to tap into AI to save on time. So absolutely, not a huge time thing. Now, that's writing of the book. We're going to encourage people to step up and start making money off that book right away, even before it's even written. And so then that marketing part of it's a little more time if you go all the way in on that. So, but impact writing, the offer, what are we doing with the book? The more you serve, the more money you make, right? The more you serve, the higher level you serve, the more money you make. You write a book, you throw it out there. Okay, it could help some people, but you write a book and you do a mastermind, or you do a coaching program, or you do a course, or you get on stages, and all of a sudden you're having a bigger impact, you're going to make more money. And so the book is an amazing catalyst. You can use it in a lot of different ways to help with your offer. And then the last thing is the marketing part. And boy, Ashley walks right by you through a ton of that stuff. You would not think Amazon and become, the system of Amazon would be such a thing, but it's got some challenges. So she's boots on the ground, digging in. We have concierge service on your Amazon bestseller day to make sure you become an Amazon bestseller. We get really excited and have a lot of virtual parties that day. And so people that sign on with Profitable Pen Press, you're not left alone. You're with us. You're in our hands, and we walk you through it day 1 to 4 months when you can get your book published. And I just got to tell one little story. So we signed somebody on. She's an amazing woman, and I'm so excited to work with her. And she's going to write her book, and it's her story, so I don't want to share too much of it. But her husband passed away, and she is writing this in his honor and showing her strength. And I handed her like our outline, and oh God, it gives me chills. This just happened Monday, and the last day on the having it. So here, this is your projected launch date. Guess what? Husband's birthday. It's her husband's birthday. I didn't know that. I picked her husband's birthday and did not know it. And she's like,
It.
I'm in. Tell me what to do. I'm doing it. Right? Like unreal. How could that happen? So crazy. Yeah.
That's so cool. So someone's listening that says, that's great. Write a book in 4 months. That sounds like a dream. But how much, like, this is going to cost money, obviously. How am I not going to go broke while writing the book?
Oh yeah. We were having a consultation with one of the people that are looking at signing on to write a book with us, and we told her, and she's like, "That's it." I'm like, "That's it." So you're going to write the book, right? Like, it's your book. You hire us as coaches. We're going to
Right.
coach you. The other, like, we include editing in it. We include formatting in our cost. So you buy the book on demand, right? Through Amazon. So it's not like you even have to go buy a whole bunch of books. It's not like you gotta buy 1,000 books or anything. I usually buy about 200 books at a time, and I get them at author cost. So really it's a coaching fee. Really is.
And all that information, we'll have it in the show notes.
Cool.
Kind of
Awesome.
broke
Yeah.
down for, like I said, because I know I've talked to, like, people talk about ghostwriting and like a lot of that, like literally thousands and thousands of dollars. And people are like you said, you're not making money on a book. How are you going to pay thousands of thousands of dollars for something you're not making any money on? So it's
Yeah, no, and
probably
we
not
don't,
happening.
and again, 23 to now, my second book costs way less to write than my first. We have AI. We don't need ghostwriters, right? We don't need ghostwriters anymore. That's the thing of the past. We have an AI, we call it AI lab, and AI writers lab, and we go right on. You just tap into AI. What's AI a month? I mean, you can probably do it for free. I do pay. I do pay my monthly subscription for it, but yeah, all that cost is gone. Like, all of it's gone. So
And through our
right.
promotional side of
Yeah.
everything, starting to promote it from day 1, you're hopefully going to be making money from your book before your book's even done being written. So that's where the other part of our cost comes in too of if you're worried about, well, how am I going to get my ROI or how am I going to
Right.
get this back? We start promoting day one. So the opportunities start opening up from day one. So that's where we're a little bit different too.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah.
This is so exciting.
Angela,
Um,
I think you're thinking about writing a
okay.
book. Are you
Well,
thinking
what'd
about
you
writing a
say?
book yet? I think you're thinking about writing a book.
I've been thinking about writing a book for like years. So, yes.
Oh, that's so
Yes. That's why I like
exciting.
asking all the questions. This is why I like podcasts.
Yes.
I ask all the questions on all the podcasts. So for me,
So good.
I'm super
Yeah.
selfish when it comes to podcasting. I'm like, I never did podcasting to make money, and I haven't through it, quote unquote, but I want to learn everything from my guests because I'm like, these are experts in their field, and I want to
Yeah.
know how to do everything. So
Yeah.
I
Cool.
can
Very
capture the
cool.
audience. It's very great. So, yeah, very cool. Well, guys, this is such a neat story for both of these ladies, and in the show notes we'll have all their information. I'm sure you can reach out to either one of them, Ashley or Heather, about anything that we talked about. It's really cool, Ashley's story of coming out of postpartum depression and going out and building something, because I know a lot of moms go through that at that time. And Heather, whatever it is, a midlife crisis you want to call it, but maybe it's a
Yeah.
breakthrough where they
We
decide to like change their life. And a lot of you guys listening are probably going through phases like that where you want to do stuff and maybe you're just scared to take the leap. So feel free to reach out to, either one of these ladies, just personally even, but also about their books, about, virtual assistant. They got a lot of stuff going on. We'll have all that stuff in the show notes. So in wrapping up, I always have three final questions. And then if there's anything we didn't touch on that we want to make sure we leave the listeners with. So first and final question, we'll start with you, Ashley. What is, if someone's looking for their purpose, what's one sentence you could say that could help them find it?
Mhm. Put your phone down and talk to yourself a little bit and
Mhm.
figure it out.
Cool. I like that. What about you, Heather? What's one
Uh,
sentence?
yeah, so they're looking for their purpose. Um, I actually have a blog and we can attach that, but
Cool.
I say answer this one question, and we work through this quite a bit in my coaching program. One question: what would you do all day long that would make you very, very happy? Like, what could you do all day long that could make you very, very happy? And the answer is in that. And a lot of times it's something that seems so easy for you, you can't imagine that somebody else would even pay you to do it, right? And so, just a quick example, had somebody in my coaching program, and she brought in like this, and by the way, she's a fractional CFO now. She left her job in January, totally replaced her income, and she's a fractional CFO now. But she came into one of our coaching calls, and we were just talking through the process and what we were doing, and she pulls up her calendar and she's like, yeah, I put all this together, and it's all of this stuff that's like color coded and all the links are there. And I'm like, that's your bonus right there. Like, that's what you need to share with people as a bonus, because that's fantastic. And she's like, well, of course I do this. Like, this is nothing. And I'm like, that's amazing, right? It was something that was so close to her. She didn't realize how amazing it was. And it was something that it would take me weeks to create and I would never stick to it, right? Like, so it's that superpower thing that's so close to you, you have no idea how awesome it is. Yeah.
Cool. I
So,
love that. Second question, what's a favorite quote and why? Ashley.
Mm. Might sound cheesy, but just do it
I
because
love it.
a lot of
Thank
people
you.
just sit on ideas and they say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then they never do it. And you should just go out and do it, and it would change your life if you started to just do it.
That Heather,
Yep.
favorite quote.
Bible verse: to much that is given, much is expected. And so we can, and you ladies probably relate to this, but we can feel to be real heavy some days. And there's a lot on us, but we've been given so very, very much that's what we're called to do. So, yeah.
I love that. Um, last and final question. What's one word or sentence you want on your gravestone, Heather?
Oh, wow. I was thinking of that the other day and I can't remember what I came up with. You know, I never, yes, amen. I honestly, that's what I would put on there. Yes, amen, because I never knew how to end a prayer. And it was a really awkward thing for me. And this is being my answer is very awkward too. But yes, amen. I don't know what else to say. Mhm.
What about you, Ashley?
I think for mine, it would be like best mom or just
Oh,
great mom. Yeah.
I love
cool.
that. All right, you're running someone in a coffee shop and they've listened to this and they've learned a whole bunch. What's something we didn't touch on, either one of you, if there's something that we didn't touch on that you think would be really impactful to leave our listeners with?
I have something. It's gonna
Yeah.
embarrass
Go
everybody.
ahead.
Okay. All right. Ashley was she doesn't give herself enough credit. She knows what I'm gonna say. Uh, and she was the absolute fastest launch and transition into entrepreneurship I have ever seen. This woman was on fire to get out of where she was at and into what she's called to do. And I remember we came together, we met and just online, right, for my coaching business. And she's like, tell me what I should do. And I gave her some ideas and she went and did it. And she came back, she's like, that's fire sauce. What's next? Right? Like, and so then we started working together and we sat down and put a plan together for 6 months. And so it was 6 months of transition. And then she was going to be totally leaving her job and going into entrepreneurship. But it was going to be this pendulum, slow pendulum.
Right.
And it did not end up that way. 2.5 weeks later, she's like, I quit. I'm done. I'm done. And I'm all in. And she had revenue coming in and she was ready to go. And so it's a quantum leap. When you get aligned right and you listen to advisors around you, people that have been there and know what to do, you just listen and do it and don't question it. And you get quantum leaps because you can learn. And that's why people hire coaches, right? Because you can learn from things they've done. They've went ahead of you and they know what to do. You just listen and do it and being open-minded, coachable. I'm excited to have your impact, right? Like, everything aligned perfectly. But if somebody said, what else would you want to talk about, I'd be like, that would be it. Like, Ashley did it, right? Like, it was exciting, it was fantastic, it was the fastest launch I've ever seen. I'm like, this is amazing, right? And it was awesome, right? So quick. And so don't you may be sitting, listeners, you may be sitting here today in some muck. No, things can change quickly. Like, they can change fast. You can have a quantum leap. Get the right people around you that know what to do. Yeah,
Cool. I
cool.
love that. Anything you want to add, Ashley?
Um, I guess the only thing I always say is if you think you don't have time, you do. Put your phone down. I'm a mom of a young son and a puppy, and Carson's on the road during the week, so I'm a single mom during the week, and I did it. So if you think you don't have time, you do, and just go out and do it.
I love that.
Cool.
Such good advice. Like I said, guys, everything will be in the show notes. A couple things I really got out of that I really want you to pay attention to throughout all of this is associations were big. What really shifted Heather was a call by Ed Milet. And so
Yeah.
that's association. She paid to be in that group. And also, Ashley paid Heather to help her with her business, which then caused a quantum leap because she did what she was told. So coaching and associations are massive to your
Yeah.
success. So please pay attention to that throughout all of this. Yeah, if you want to go write a book, reach out to these wonderful ladies and they'll be able to walk you through some of that stuff, which is super awesome. Guys, if we can go out there, if we can change one life or one starfish at a time, together, we can help change the world. Thanks for being on.
All right.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thank you.